Yes, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I had a week off last week as I was on holiday in Mallorca. So, this is going to cover weeks 20 and 21 together. To be honest, there's not really much to say. I took a full week to just not train really when I was in Mallorca. I ate very intuitively, meaning if I felt a little bit hyper, I'd have some carbs. If not, as mainly protein, veg. I'm a big fan of things like fish and steak and vegetables that have been cooked and roasted and things like that. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of fats in there, so I avoided carbs as and when I could. This wasn't because I wanted to stay shredded or whatever. It's just that's just how my head works. It's years and years of doing this where it goes like, yeah, I could have a week of going fuck it, but it's not going to benefit my goals in the long run. Did I have a biscuit here and there? Absolutely. I was on holiday. I had 0% alcohol as well. I was having a cigar every day, so things like that. I was still relaxing, but I still kept the fundamentals in play, as you will see here. So if we head over to the timeline, we can see that my weight has had quite a big jump. So this is what I was before I went away, and this is what I was. This is how I am when I'm back. I think the lowest weight was around 211 pounds, and the highest was 224. So that's a good stone if you're talking in British money. And that wasn't eating like a dick. So I'll jump into that in a second. But so what the kind of plan is going on for now is to escalate the dosage, as you can see here. So another 200 milligrams of test, 100 milligrams of EQ, and then add in 100 milligrams of MPP on top, bringing up the total load to 1600 milligrams. I've booked some blood work in for the 23rd of June, the Tuesday, whatever the Tuesday is this week commencing, to see where things are at and potentially take another escalation. Glutathione I have been using Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I hadn't put it down. I have also increased my GH dose, and there is a reason for that. I have been working with a guy from the movement clinic called Mike Ford, who is very, very good, and it's down to basically nerves. I think the thing that was holding me back was when I was waking up in the middle of the night with 5 IU of GH because like I was getting carpal tunnel, and he's like, yeah, well, this wasn't why I went to him. I went to him originally for like a sciatica treatment. And he's like, yeah, but your back and your arms and your shoulders are all bundled up. So why, like, first of all, how have your arms grown if you can't fully stretch them and connect with them? Which I've noticed already that my connection with my arms has been a lot better. But I'm also wondering whether this will play a part. Other than that, everything stays the same. Calories are staying very similar. Steps and cardio are staying similar. The changes is down to like electrolytes and things like that. So in the nutrition plan, we've added in some salsa for breakfast. This is just so that we can get another layer of gut biome in there. Some sauerkraut in with this meal. What that will do is add some sodium because I was kind of a bit low on sodium, to be honest. Standardized the salt on both days. Previously, this was 7 and 7 and 6 and 6. Now it's 7 and 7, both days. Same principle with the salsa and the sauerkraut. Nothing really to say there. Added in this whole bone matrix, which is a calcium supplement that will help. Simply because the magnesium to calcium ratio was off. It still is off. Magnesium is considerably higher, but it's better, which is good. And I've changed out selenium, iron, and zinc for the one multivitamin, basically because it's already there. So they're all in that one matrix. So if we look over at the tracker, we can see this is kind of the nuts and bolts of it. I had a kebab from the, basically before I left, just an impulse thing. You can kind of see here that I was just really fucking tired. I had a bit of a stressful day and I didn't have the meal prepped. And I just went, do you know what? Let's just enjoying myself. I'm about to go on holiday, and I'm bloody glad that I did. Um, because the next morning we ended up having to run for our flights and things like that. So it was well needed. I don't think it was needed, but it was enjoyable, which was the main thing. I'm glad I took my scales with me because it kept me accountable. This isn't something I typically do, but by taking my scales with me, it meant that I wasn't a dick. I was understanding that actually, Gary, you've put on 6 pounds since Wednesday, rein it in, bud. So on this Saturday, I went completely carbless, dropped 2 pounds, but I felt like I was missing out. So I just then went for, like, as said earlier, meat and veg. And if I felt a little bit hypo or just fancy something, saw something that I didn't really have. So like, I think on the Saturday night there was a guy making sushi, and I'm not going to pass that up. There's things like biscuits and things that I was like, oh, like, I don't know what they are. They look like biscuits, but what are they? So I was indulging in those. Not crazy, but I was having some. And I think that's the best way to manage a holiday. Is it was all inclusive, not all you can eat. So what can't I have in the UK? What isn't available to me? Okay, let's try that. Is that good? No, not going to have that again. And even down to like things like the fruit. I really like apples, but the apples over there were crap, so I wasn't eating the apples. But the oranges were phenomenal, so I was eating the oranges and the pineapple and the watermelon and things like that. Dates out there were phenomenal, and just things like that for just variety. I think the main thing really that spiked up my weight was it's not an intolerance. It's I'm trying to think of the word. Something along the lines of my body doesn't like lactose very much. It's not like immediate. If I overdo it, it is. For a bit of over over information on Tuesday night, I ended up having a lot of desserts. My weight didn't go up, but that's because I spent the whole night over the bog, so over the toilet. For those that don't know what the word bog means. So not wasn't a particularly great night, but you can see that it came and bit me on the ass on the Thursday. So yeah, so let's have a look at what the Physique is doing and what my thoughts are on it, because it's not as bad as these statistics show. So this was my Physique on Friday morning. As you can see, it was on the 22nd at 3:52. I sent these across the Nath, so the poor bastard is having a bit of a nightmare there. So still quite lean. You can see there's a film of water there compared to the week before. If we do bring through the week before, midsection's a lot tighter, muscles are a lot fuller. So, which is to be expected, a week without having any anabolics and not training, apart from doing a little bit of cardio mobility, I'm not going to have that same pop. So that's something that I'm hoping will come back within this week with the introduction. So from the side, you can just see there's a film of water, but nothing too bad. Again, from the back, it's not usually any opportunity for this to store fat. It will. I can't see it there. Maybe a little bit here, but we're really, really nitpicking. So I'm quite happy. Is it perfect? No, but definitely feel like there's an opportunity to get all of this crap off. And this, you can just see there's just a film of water just there. But overall, muscularity wise, I'm really happy with how things have held. It's just condition that's not really slipped. As I say, it's just watery. So overall, I'm not mad about how these last 2 weeks have gone. I think it was useful to have that break, and it was very, very important for me to have that downtime as well. I think it's super important for us to all remind ourselves that we love training, but at the same time, it's also important to take time away. We grow when we are rested. And I'm I'm great at giving the advice, but terrible at taking it. It's great to be back in the gym, but at the same time, I definitely needed that time away. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. If you've got any questions, anything like that, again, comments down below. Please like, subscribe, share with everyone. Get it out there. I really like doing these because it's something that I want to be able to look back on in a few years and go, yeah, okay, do you know what? I did look okay. So if you've got any video ideas, anything you'd like to see, as I say, leave them down in the comments. And thank you very much for watching.